Hello and welcome to the Nürnberg Messe channel. This is the one-stop shop and platform where we have been bringing you some very insightful conversations with industry leaders and experts from their respective industries. Today, we are talking about all things related to the broadcast industry, to the satellite and content industry. There's such a huge boom happening, not just internationally, but within India. Content creation is being taken to the next level. We are seeing content creators take content to a global stage through reels and shots. We are really seeing an evolution, or should I say, a revolution in the world of content with new and emerging trends. But today, as you can see, the background here says, "What did you learn today?" And I'm here to learn all things related to the world of Canon. That's right, the camera Canon here in NCR at the headquarters in Gurgaon office. And I'm joined by Mr. Vishesh Magoo, who heads the camera business department here at Canon India Private Limited, where we will be talking all things camera and his nearly 2 decades of work experience and a vast body of expertise in marketing and business in the Canon world. So, without getting too much into this introduction, I'd actually like to start by welcoming Mr. Vishesh Magoo here as we speak to him at the office. Mr. Vishesh, thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm excited to learn all things related to Canon because I own a Canon camera. And also, of course, your participation and association with broadcast show for so many years, the biggest stall over there, the biggest booth. Your first thoughts and how are you doing today?
I'm great, Sonakshi. First of all, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I know it's a busy Monday, but we are very happy to have you here. Super excited with this show. It has always been the testimony of our leadership and our promise and the trust that we lay on our customers and the customers' trust on us. So I'm very happy to have you here.
Right. So let's just get started. I want to begin by asking how important is the video segment to Canon India?
You tell me. We are being short on video. Right. You tell me, how important could it get? So it's the cornerstone of our strategy. Why? Not because we like it that way, because that is the need of the customer. Video industry is, growing rapidly. It is set to become a $13 billion industry by 2028. And we want to embark on that journey. This is the customer feedback. No matter what, I don't think any other country consumes or rather gulps video data like India. So if you look at our products, starting from a very entry level to an OTT production grade cinema, we have all kinds of products. That proves the importance and the mindshare video has in our mind.
Right. From cinema to ML, you'll have to also break down some jargons and terminologies for the viewer, the audience listening. How Canon really gears the gear that we're talking about within the office evolving? Let's talk about the evolution of these gears and also to fulfill the requirement in the industry.
I'll perhaps not answer that so simply. Let's delve into the history of Canon. I'm not sure how much you know about Canon. We are
to learn more.
Yeah, we are about 90 years old in this business, and we have a stockpile, a mountain load of data related to photography. That enriches us in creating great products. And with advent of technology, we marry it with AI and deep learning to create great videos. That's how we are able to cater to masses cutting across the segments. So whether it is mirrorless or it is cinematography, we have the real data and the intelligent data, the deep learning data that we marry to provide best products to our customers. That coupled with trainings and engagements, we know just giving products may not be enough. So we couple it with a lot of training and engagement with our customers, so that they are enabled to optimize and fully utilize the strengths of our products.
Right. You mentioned AI and deep learning. We'll perhaps try and get into that a little later. But what are the current focal areas at Canon in the cinematography camera segment?
Focal areas in the cinematography. Let me try to make it simple. Let me put a jargon to it. We're talking about cinema. We're talking about recording videos. So you may remember, it's easy for you to remember REC, record, the res record button. So I divided into three parts. R means the result. So we promise an output which the customer deserves or which delights the customer. So we are making cameras with high image qualities, high grade resolution, which can work in low light conditions and high speed situations also. So one being result. Second is, okay, you have the output, but how did you like using the product? It is the second E, which is experience. So it's buttery smooth, changing from one focal length to other. The joy of driving a, let's say, a sports car, if you've ever driven a sports car, that kind of joy and excitement our customers should get is our endeavor. Third C is very, very important. You've got a great output, you've got a great experience, but what do you do with the output? You like to connect, which is basically integration and compatibility with several software. So you take the output, put it on your system, and then play and see the miracle and the magic happens. So the three focal points is the result, experience, and of course, connectivity.
You've really given REC a whole new different meaning. I grew up just knowing about REC on the camera as recording, but you've given a complete.
I made it up just now.
You. Well, I think that's even more interesting, giving REC a whole different meaning. Let's talk about the rise of content creation and content creators. You said that nobody in the world perhaps consumes data like India does, and the consumption on digital, especially in today's day and age where digital consumption has just risen from where to where. We are also seeing the rise of content creators and the kind of content they're creating on just reels and shorts and short form videos. So, how does Canon plan to balance this? And its professional cinematography, cameras from those aimed at creators and small production houses.
So, as I said, Sonakshi, I can very proudly say we have the largest range of products available today at several price points. Rather, it makes job difficult for the customer. Sometimes they are unable to choose which one to have. There's so much of, you're spoiled for choices, It starts at a very entry level range, below 50K rupees, and it goes up to, I don't even want to quote a number for the cinema grade.
But how much? This is again, we're learning things. How much can it go up to?
Several millions, I would say,
right.
Depending on the need, depending on what kind of the content, how many lenses do you need. The point is whether we are able to deliver the trust that customer lays on us when it comes to video. The point is whether the products are scalable or not. If you are an entry-level content creator, let's say, do you get a content with your equipment which can be coupled with high-grade softwares to get high-grade output for the job that you're doing? If you're shooting a very specific cinema, let's say with a high action scene, or let's say shooting a horror movie with a lot of dark scenes, depending on those, we have lots of products available for every kind of genre. So it really depends on the kind of content that you need. All I can say is we have one for all. I mean, we have one camera for all kinds of need. I can't think of a customer for which I do not have a camera today.
All right. So we're talking about all things lenses, and Canon is regarded, highly for its camera quality and lens quality. What is Canon really working on when it comes to the advancement of lenses, of cinema lenses? If you can talk about that.
Advancement of cinema lenses, Sonakshi. Simply putting it, our endeavor is to give the result or the output as you see from the most beautiful camera in this world, which is your eyes, which is why we work on specific parameters like reducing distortion, high image quality, low noise, low light and fast shooting conditions. Our lenses, I believe, are today equipped to address them all beautifully. We have the widest range of lenses today in the industry, like nobody else, whether it is cine lenses or whether it is RF lenses. We have something which nobody else can deliver. Those are the things we are doing with our lenses. That's on the output part. Again, I'm repeating the experience, the intuitive experience once you're using. I believe the marriage between the optics of the lens and the processing of the camera is so beautiful that you can almost talk to it. It connects to your heart. It knows what the cinematographer is going to do next and enables or empowers him to achieve the result that he had thought and more, not only that. So those are my 2 bits into what we are doing with our lenses.
Okay. A little bit more about the lenses then. How does Canon plan to address, the affordability or the price factor? Because whenever someone thinks of lens or a high value brand like Canon, amongst a range of other big brands, we think of, okay, very expensive, and rightly so, because it assures quality, premium quality. But the demand for affordable, high quality lenses for independent filmmakers and small studios.
We are affordable, certainly. I must tell you that. And I'll tell you why. I don't mean it as a joke. I'll tell you why. Because affordability is very subjective. What is affordable to you is very expensive for me. Could be very expensive for me. Now, you spoke about small studios, production houses. We know these are our precious customers who, when they buy a product, it's a tool for them. They want a return out of that. So we work more on ROI rather than on affordability. You invest 100 rupees, you invest, let's say, 1 lakh rupees on our products today. Does my product have the ability to bring back 10 times the money within 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or whatever the horizon the customer has on? That is the real sense of affordability to me. And yes, we are affordable. It's not about being inexpensive. I believe we are priceless. It's precious. But to answer your question directly, we do have less expensive range, which is STM lenses, stepper motor. STM means stepper. Sorry for being so technical. It just means there is a motor inside the lens which makes video transitions or focusing very smooth with less noise. Very, very inexpensive, below 50K. There are lenses at 25, 30K also. We have those things. Besides that, we have affordability programs. Buy now, pay later. Just the way you buy your house. As I said, it's a B2B kind of a market. It's a market where customer needs to invest first, then later make money. Third thing we do is we often come up with some great marketing programs. We often come up with some bundles, and we encourage customers to utilize them to be able to, get the whole equipment. Sometimes what happens, and I tell you very honestly, sometimes what happens is customer focuses on camera. He believes, I would buy the camera and maybe lens later. We would want him to enjoy the goodness of both full experience, full plethora of experience together. So we do some bundlings often. We do affordability programs, and we are precious.
Of course. I being myself, a consumer of Canon, I can also say that quality and you promise everything that you deliver everything you promise. But let's talk about the increasing convergence between still photography, video photography, and so many more newer forms of content creation, the way content is being created. And it's not just the way, the how content is being created. So how does Canon plan on really keeping up with this convergence, and especially keeping in mind that there's also a professional camera market? So a little bit about that.
It's Sonakshi, it's rather simple. I have a 13-year-old son, and he gives me real consumer insight sometimes. Yeah, and he's a very annoying customer. Let me tell you, he wants everything under the sun.
Right.
So I believe this question of photo or video is sort of cliche. It's an old question. It's important for many people. To us, it's sort of cliche. And why do I say it? Is because my question is, why do I need to have a separate video device and a separate photo device? This is my very basic question. Older days, if you remember, there used to be a guy with a camera who used to be called a photographer. And there used to be a guy with a shoulder mount, big black camera who used to be called a videographer. In 2008, everything changed. Canon was the first brand ever which said, here is a small body with 5D. You can shoot great photos as well as great videos. So we spoke about affordability 2 minutes ago. This is one of the measures. This is a testimony of how we make products affordable for our customers. You buy one product and you can do both great photos and great videos. I always ask people, they say, oh, I need a video camera, 12 megapixel is enough. Why? Why don't we have a camera like Canon does, which can do both? Why are you not able to shoot a video and then take out your photos from the video, which Canon R5 Mark II can do so nicely? So my point being, it's not about photo and video. It's about you put your money on Canon, you do whatever you want. You're a photographer today, you want to become a videographer, why not? You're a videographer, you see a flower, there's no sense. I mean, there's no point making a video of a flower. You switch to, or you make a video and you take out your photo out of that. So that's how we are dealing with it. We're trying to offer both as much as possible.
So how does your 13-year-old son consume data or information? I'm curious to know that as well.
I think if he watches this interview, it'll be a big issue. I'll probably answer that later, Sonakshi.
Okay. What is Canon's approach to collaborating with professionals in the film, television, broadcast, documentary, and podcast segments to better understand and anticipate their needs? Now, we're doing this podcast and we're obviously doing it at the Canon office with Canon cameras, but just to understand how is it collaborating with professionals all over from different sectors?
By professionals, you mean people who are
into content creation, like podcast is one form of content, then there's documentary, which is one form of content, there's television, news, radio, so much more, right? So basically your collaboration with these industries, with these ecosystems.
Honestly, Sonakshi, I feel collaboration is a bit too serious. It's a bit boring. It's a bit business-like, given
partnership.
Give me something.
Yeah.
I give you some. In the true sense, in the true spirit of things, we do much more than collaboration. We engage and we entwine, and in very simple terms, when I say that, I mean we are physically present with them when they're shooting. We want to know how do they feel. What is their feedback when you are standing, when you're focusing against the sun or underwater, or when it is a run and gun situation. So the philosophy or the motto that I give to my team is not B2B, B2C. It's G2C, C2C. Which is go to customer, stay close to customer.
And stay close to customer. So G2C is go to customer and C2C is close to customer. This is again new jargons that I'm learning today at the Canon office. Please continue.
So
very interesting.
When we do that, it gives us a gold mine of data.
Right.
And you know what? I'll tell you as a joke. We tell them, give me the bad news first. Tell me bad things about what Canon is doing.
Right.
That will make me wiser, right? That will make me come closer to you. And sometimes they hesitate, but with a smile in their voice, they often tell us, oh, this could be a little better. This is my specific need. We collect that data. We go back to our parents, our headquarters in Tokyo, and we try to improvise. And our products today, C400 or C80 or R5 Mark II, are a testimony. When they were launched, you won't believe, jaws dropped. Eyebrows went up and people were so happy. Finally, they could, whatever they could want and more was available in these products. So these people, they are more than friends. They're very, very precious, and they're the epicenter of whatever they are the starting point, which is the ethos of Canon. We say delighting you always. Delighting is a keyword here. I believe a bigger keyword is always. We never miss to delight.
Right. As we now conclude this interview with Mr. Vishesh Magoo, I'd like to really ask your association with Broadcast India, the show. Over the years, how did you really start? How is it going? What are we expecting at 2024 broadcast? And really a message for the team.
Okay. I'll try to answer one by one. We started... journey has been great, Sonakshi. It has been a great experience. We started out small, smaller investment. And today, I believe we have one of the biggest stalls, if not the biggest. And we have several zones for several different kinds of customers. BI Show, I can safely say, on record, is the most professionally managed show under the circumstance in this country. There is no other show which is done to this extent. And I would also like to say that we participate in very few shows, and we always participate in BI show. This is the second, comment I would like to make, which should make the BI team believe that they're doing a great job. Well, we continue to improve us. We have lots of feedbacks and lots of learnings every year. We continue to do that. Coming to the second question, we have lots of fantastic experience this time in BI show, like never before. Every year is like never before. Naturally, we learn and graduate. We have R1, we have R5 Mark II on the mirrorless side, the two newly launched product. R1 has still not come into the market. We have C400 and C80, and we have virtual reality for the first time ever. And we have several dedicated real-time zones where customers can come and experience, for example, the real studio setup. It's not just an exhibition style display of product where you come, touch and play and get a hang of the product. You shoot, see the output, change lighting conditions, several scenarios. That is what you could achieve. Third point was message, right? Message to BI team is great going. Keep doing well, keep doing more. And I would like you to consider doing it in other places of the country. India is a promising nation. Future is bright, and possibilities are infinite. So let's do more.
And I do want to end this interview by asking you, and I'm obviously very tempted to ask you this question. Why not? I'm sitting at the Canon office. Do you have a passion for photography with the camera? You have any favorite product, your favorite camera, and what is it that you really do on the weekends?
Okay. Easy yet complicated question. On weekends, I try to spend time with my family because I have very busy weekdays. I travel a lot. I do have some passion for photography, Sonakshi, but what has happened in the past is that there is a complex that has set in. We spoke about these, people whom we collaborate with, these experts. When I meet them, I feel still like a novice. So I would not say that I have reached everywhere, but I do it out of hobby or passion. But I'm not an artist. If you have to classify me into the artist bucket versus a business bucket, I fall on inside the business bucket. I like the business of photography. I like the business of camera. I like staying connected with customers, channel partners, stakeholders, so on and so forth. So that's who I am. And I do cook. I'm a good cook.
And so actually, you're a chef. So that's also an art in its own.
Chef? No. I cook. I'm not a chef.
Right. Okay. And my really last question is, and I always ask this to our guests, in your assessment, what is the future of the camera world, Canon camera or the camera industry in India and globally? In your assessment, where do you see this going forward?
I'll start with something else, actually.
Yeah.
People who know camera, who are close to this industry, they often judge us from a distance. And sometimes it's rather amusing when people ask me, my close, let's say friends or people who don't know me, they ask me, what do you do? I tell them I work with Canon. We sell camera. And the first question, oh, do cameras sell? This is the question that comes. And I don't like it. I have to go back and remind them, we are an industry which is older than almost every industry. And this is my question to you. Tell me a product, an electronics product, which is older than camera. Are refrigerators older than cameras, or televisions, or smartphones, or mobile phones, or even feature phones? Or mixer grinders?
Yeah, very interesting.
Nothing, right? So we've stayed in this industry for over hundreds of years. I feel the future is infinite. And it's about delighting the customers always, understanding their needs, C2C, G2C, and delivering delight always.
Excellent. I really have picked up new jargons from you today in this interview, but I think more so for our audience, for our viewers, for anybody who is even remotely close to the camera world and camera industry, has also learned something. There are takeaways from here. So clearly, with Mr. Vishesh Magoo here at the Canon headquarters in Gurgaon, in the national capital, we have spoken about content creation, the world of cinema through camera lenses, the what's going on in the Canon India office, Canon India's association with Broadcast India, the show, and of course, what's the lineup at the 2024 show. So much that we've talked about. Thank you so much for your time, for doing this with us. Any final comments, any final thoughts?
Pleasure having you, Sonakshi. Final comment is, we can with Canon.
We can with Canon for sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.